want some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is fucking awesome.
Now, walk into the club like, what up? I got a big cock. I'm just pumped. I bought some shit from a thrift shop. Ice on the fringe is so damn frosty. The people like,
Damn, that's a cold ass honky.
Today we're going to be looking at the T-34-2. It's a Tier 8 Chinese medium tank. Definitely not my favorite Tier 8 medium. It's I think fairly poor performing. I believe the Type 59 is better in every way. The T-34 maybe has a better gun, but I mean, 2.9 second aim time, and the Type 59. No, they're even the same. I mean, same gun, same everything. Yeah. So this thing, the Type 59, is better in every single way. I mean, but anyway, we're doing it on the T-34-2. So things about this tank. It's got 1,300 hit points, decent hit points for a Tier 8 medium. Weighs 34 tons. It has a 46-degree track traverse. It's only got 70 millimeters of armor on the front hull here and 45 on the sides. 180 millimeter thick turret. Turret's decent. It'll bounce shots. Its gun, it has two gun options. Really, normally I only will cover the gun that is obvious, but this one actually does have two guns you can use. You can use the 100 millimeter 59-100T that has 181 pin and 250 alpha with a 7.06 rate of fire, or you can use the tried and true Russian 122, which is, you know, standard 4 rounds a minute, 175 pin, 390 alpha. I go with the 100 millimeter because I think it's the better gun. Because this 122, it just is horrible, aim time and whatnot. If you can get just point blank and derp into people with it, I guess it'd be all right. But I tried them both, and I found the 100 millimeter to be far, far better. The real problem with this tank is its lack of depression. This thing only has like 2 degrees of gun depression. I mean, almost none. So it's extremely difficult to use that turret and whatnot to hold down and whatnot because it just doesn't have any gun depression. I mean, little moving in this thing, even little bumps will throw off your aim where you won't be able to hit the target. So it's difficult to use in that regard. And then this thing, it is really agile and it is quick and it's a fast little Tier 8 medium. Its gun handling really kind of lets it down a bit, though. I mean, that if this thing had a better gun, better aim time and whatnot, I'd probably like it more. But as is, this is definitely not a contender for good Tier 8 tank status. Definitely not my favorite. But like any tank in the game, you use its strengths and whatnot, you can do well in it. It's just not comfortable to play. This is what I'm saying. So I'm going to take you through a couple replays. I'm going to go over the armor model, the collision model, show you all the different actual armor thickness and whatnot. Be aware with this tank, it only has 45 millimeters of side armor, so side scraping is really not really an option in this tank. Don't try to side scrape. Lower caliber guns, like, you know, other 100 millimeters and whatnot, you know, they won't triple overmatch you, but, you know, they will double overmatch you. So it's not the best tank for that. This thing, really, you don't want to get shot at all. You just want to try to use your agility, your camo. This thing does have decent camo rating, and it's a really small tank. I mean, look, here's the T-34-2. There's the Type 59. Let's look at Tier 8s only. So this is comparative. These are my Tier 8 tanks right here. Yeah, okay. So let's say T-34 compared to T-34-2. You can see how much smaller this tank is. It's a really, really tiny tank. I mean, it's not really too much bigger than 1390. So you can use that. You can, if you're running at full speed, you can dodge shots and whatnot. Okay, let's take a look at the armor model. So here we're looking at the T-34-2's armor and collision models. Let's take a look at the collision model. So you can see, really simple. There's not a lot to it. Tank looks a lot smaller on the collision model. All this stuff is not modeled. This track sides here, this thing. So you could, for all intents and purposes, you could just ignore that. As far as angling and shooting and whatnot, this is what you really need to know about. So, like I said, the front here is 70 millimeters thick. It really doesn't have that great of a slope. I definitely should not rely on this to bounce shots. You'll get a few lucky bounces here and there, but definitely don't rely on it. 45 millimeters for the rest of the hole, pretty much. Lower plate, anything that shoots you there will go through because its angle's really garbage, and it's only 45 millimeters thick. The real armor part of the tank, the only part you can really rely on, is this turret. This is the part of your turret that's 180 millimeters thick, as you can see. Your gun mantle is also 180 there, 155 for the rest. And behind it, so you can see if they do penetrate your mantle in this area, there's a 0 armor zone behind it. But your gun mantle has an angle to it, so it'll bounce most shots. See how it's curved there? They come in and hit. It's got an angle. And most things this thing will face, it'll bounce. In tier 8 anyways. Tier 9 and 10 guns, however, will go through your turret. It's only 180 millimeters thick, and it's not that, I mean, it's sloped, but not that well sloped. So tier 9 and 10 guns, maybe you'll bounce tier 9. Tier 10s, though, will punch right through you most of the time. Sometimes you'll get some bounces just because it's so angled, and it is 180 millimeters thick, but be very careful when you're playing with tier 10s in this, because normally, I mean, they could just, if they're looking straight on, they could just hit you here. They'll go through. Well, anywhere really, it'll go through. But again, like if you're on a hill or something and it comes in like that, it can ricochet off. But generally, the turret's effective with tier 8s, not so much at tier 9 and 10, but it will bounce a shot here and there. But if you have a choice, it's always much better to show them the turret than, of course, than your hole, because tier 10s will definitely go through your hole, no problem. So option 1, don't get shot at or don't get hit with this, but option 2, definitely show your turret if you have to. Definitely not the hole though. Again, this thing relies on its speed, camo rating, and just generally being a flanking little medium to survive and do well in. Some people can find that difficult to do in this tank though, because it's, like I said, it's not a very comfortable tank to drive. But just pay attention to what you're doing, be aware of what's going on around you, and definitely do not try to slug it out with other tanks, because you will lose. This thing's DPM's not that great, its armor's not that great, so you just play it like a true medium, flank, look for opportunity shots. This thing should be like a scavenger. So let's take a look at some replays. So for the first replay, here we are on Stalingrad in the T-34-2. Tier 8 Chinese medium tank. For this tank, I actually like this map because it's real flat and it suits this thing's, it doesn't have any depression, right? So it suits that pretty well. So of the different maps I can get, this is one of my favorites. Right off the bat, I tell my team, in most of my videos you'll see, I tell my team where I'm going, hopefully, because I know I'm going to play aggressive, so hopefully I can get some people to follow me, back me up, or at least shoot at what I light, etc., etc. So I always tell my team where I'm going and what my general plan is. Now on this map, I like to go up the one line. You can, if you're in a faster tank, you can zip up that one line and generally get there before any of their tanks. Be aware if they have a lot of medium tanks, one of them might have the same idea, but that Panther 88's all they really got in the T-43, so I'm confident I can get up here. Even if I do run into them, I think I could probably take them. So generally, I want to get up into this area here. Right in here is where you'll usually spot the enemy tanks and where the fight will start, so just be aware of that. Again, this thing, it's not really going to bounce shots, so you got to just rely on your agility, situational awareness, and you know, being a little sneaky flanking medium tank. That's what this one's all about, relocating. See the T-29 over there. I'm just trying to get a feel where everybody's at, what all I'm facing over here. So I see that IS-6 and the T-29. T-29 looks like he's playing a little passive, so this IS-6 is a better player, and he's in a higher tier tank, so he's going to be my priority. I was worried about this 29. See, he's looking at me if I crossed in that open area that he'd get the shot on me. But then he is a really nice guy. As you can see, he moves, so I can come over here and start putting rounds into the IS-6. And an Artie just shot at me and missed. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know how much I like Artie. Again, situational awareness. Always being aware of what's going on. The whole time I'm shooting that guy, you can see my turret. I'm turning and I'm looking at this T-29 to make sure he can't get a shot on my flank. I see that IS heading that way. I'm not sure where he went though. So again, just looking at the mini-map, I can tell that 29 can't get a shot on me. Checking. And the IS is not even looking at me, so this is just free damage. And then I spot a wild KV-2. Okay. So again, still trying for the mission where I set a tank on fire with the medium, but not working too well. I get lucky there. The KV-2 shot me and didn't do any damage. I do take an Artie hit though. So now I want to use this building and get the KV-2 at the same time. So reverse angling there, take out the KV-2, showing as little of my tank as possible. Okay, he's down. What do we got left? T-29. Okay, I took a hit there. And he has such a better gun. You know, he does way more damage per shot. I can't sit there and trade shot for shot with him. And I'm guessing he probably went, yeah, just like that's why I didn't pull out there, because I didn't want him to shoot me. I didn't want to take another hit. One thing I can do though, because I'm so much quicker, is I can use my tank speed and try to get track shots around these corners. I can fire and move before he can get his gun on me. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do with this T-29. And he just fired. I saw his shot. Again, pay attention to the enemy tanks when they fire and whatnot. I'm thinking our entire team pretty much is down there. Hopefully they can deal with that cap. Again, using this thing's speed on corners to fire off the shot and move before he can return fire. And the whole time Artie's sitting there banging away, trying to get me. Don't want to make it easy for them. So again, I'm looking at the mini-map and I'm thinking, or you know, the rest of our team is down there in that cap. Hopefully they can deal with that while I take out the 4 Artie. So that's what I'm attempting to do, is just take out the artillery. See the M41? Again, this thing's on the move accuracy is pretty poor. I don't want that M41 to get a shot on me, so I put that building between us. And I'm going to work on the left Artie. He fires and misses, so I know I have time now. I can sit here and take my time and aim. Here's where I make a big mistake. I pull out. I knew the guy was probably looking at me. I was just hoping he, by side scraping out here, that he wouldn't be able to get the shot on me, but unfortunately he did. And it cost me 286 more hit points, so I'm down to 300. Now the 304 is hitting me for another 183. Because Artie just loves me. And, god dang it, another one. You just cannot hide from those 304s. They're angled. Okay. Down to one more hit, and I'm done. Anything even sneezes at me, I'm done. So, looking at the mini-map, I've come to realize that my team has died. So I've got to get back to reset somehow. I get lucky, the 304 shot at me again and missed. I want to get over to the left so the GW can't put his gun on me. I'm, you know, very aware that even a near miss will kill me right now. So I'm just really aware of that. Hoping our T-35-AT will keep resetting until I can get this guy dead and get back to our cap. Again, just being a sneaky little medium, using my speed. Okay, so now I should have a free shot to our cap. Get down there and help our T-25-AT out. And I'm ammo racked, I let my team know. And then, oh, the 304 is behind me. So I put the building between us there so he can't get a direct line of sight shot on me. But I know that thing aims fairly quick and fires quick, and any hit at all will kill. And unfortunately, I don't make it back in time. But I end this battle with 3,101 damage and 4 kills, which for this tank is really not bad. It's so uncomfortable to drive. But anyway, that's how I play this tank. You just use the thing's mobility and quick firing gun, well, relatively quick firing gun, and flank, scavenge. Definitely not a frontline tank. But let's take a look at another one. Alright, so here we are on Airfield, another Tier 8 match in the T-34-2. Matchmaker was kind to me today and gave me 2 decent matches. In this tank, looking at our teams, there's 3 already on each side. They've got more heavies than we do. Just got to be careful. Again, just scavenge, take advantage when enemy tanks are not looking at you. Use this thing's mobility to move around the battlefield. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. I got a good spawn point. I like to go up here on this little ridge at the start. It gives me opportunities to keep my gun firing. Again, because in every tank, for me, having your gun shooting is super important. So it gives me, getting up here on that ridge gives me the opportunity to look around, see where everything's going, what's going on, see how the battle develops, but also where I can shoot, get targets, and start putting the damage out. And using these little bushes and whatnot. Be aware when you do use these bushes, though, their camo value is actually not that great, and you can get spotted through them for some reason. I mean, they don't seem to be as effective as other bushes. I don't know. But you see my little Stewie thing went off, so I got spotted. Well, I would have regardless of the bush, because I fired and I was within 10 meters. When you see the bush go opaque like that, when you can see through the bush like that, that means you're within 10 meters. So if you fire your gun, the bush will have virtually no camo impact on your tank. Now, if I had backed up to where that bush, becomes solid again, then I could actually fire and would not be detected. But that's just not possible right here. So again, just keeping an eye on the mini-map, seeing how the battle's developing, and just looking. Put some damage out for now. Just want to try to take as much as the enemy team's hit points as I can. Little Centurion, I mean, he knows I was here, but he kept pulling out where I could shoot him easily. Pull back into cover. And generally, playing here on this bush, if there's any risk of stuff shooting back at you from over there, pull out from the bush, take your shot, damage a tank, and then pull back until you go dark again. But unfortunately, there's not enough action going on there. I'm not able to keep my gun firing as much as I want, so I'm going to start moving around. Again, using this thing's mobility. Here's this camo rating. Now, I haven't fired. He hadn't seen me. This is 330 meters away from the T-28 Proto. Now, he could see me when I fire, but until I fire, he couldn't detect me. So you can see how good this thing's camo rating is. It's one of the strengths of this tank. So really use that camo rating. You can get pretty close without guys detecting. And there wasn't no bushes or anything. 330 meters away from that Proto. So I fired from there. Figured, people are going to know I'm there. So relocate again. This tank's so fast that you can easily move around the battlefield. Again, Proto, 357 meters. I got detected that time. I'm not sure if he is actually the one that detected me or not. But again, just fire, relocate, fire, relocate, fire, relocate. If you sit there and keep poking up and down at the same spot, some tanks I can get away with. I can do that because I can angle in such a way that their armor will bounce any return fire, but I'm not confident enough in this tank's armor to do that. So I'm constantly moving, relocating, moving, relocating. Proto, he's got the best gun on the enemy team, so he's definitely a target I want to take out. And again, he didn't see me, but after I fire, I get lit up. Now they have 3 artillery, so I'm really aware of that as well. So that's another reason to keep moving, keep relocating. Right now the match is fairly even, though they have a better team, minus myself and FCM and the GW. That's still alive anyways, but their overall team is better than ours. Coming back to here. Now that Firefly, looking at him, I thought he was farther up. I didn't realize he was actually right there to my left. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I thought he was up on that cliff. my mistake. So now we got 3 artillery. There's nothing up north, so I'm just going to try to lure them out into our artillery fire or just spot them for arty. But I definitely don't want to try to slug it out with a KV-4 and KV-5 and Churchill gun carrier that's over here somewhere. Arty's telling me in chat they're ready to fire. They're aimed over where I'm at. I just got to spot targets for them. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. Again, being careful, just poking up. Ooh, and look, the Churchill gun carrier has made it all the way back to our arty. So I'm thinking, oh crap, I got to get back there quickly before he kills all our arty. But then SU-14-2 handles him like a boss. Dirt to the face. And there's the KV-4. KV-5. So okay, the remaining tanks are just holed up at their base. They're going to let us come to them. KV-4 was actually playing smart though. He knew we had 3 arty and was just staying arty safe and letting us come to him. Took a shot on the move. I didn't want to give him an opportunity to fire back at me. I didn't know which way he was facing. I got lit. Again, staying mobile. I don't want arty to get a lucky hit on me until I go dark. Checking to make sure nothing's over there. Now up here, I don't know if I'm going to get a shot on the KV-5 or I'm just going to bang away on the KV-4, just taking an investigative poke. Now I know I'll out view range that KV-5, so if I'm not spotting him, he's not going to be able to get a shot on me. Again, trying for that dang fire mission. Not happening. Make sure the KV-5 can't get a shot on me. Now, Arty's preoccupied with our FCM, so again, one thing you can do, again, just using this thing's camo, and again, I know I reload quicker than he does, so if you see a tank fire like that, take advantage of it. If you reload quicker than him, take your time, aim, put a shot into him, and then once you fire, then pull back into cover. If you know he reloads slower than you do. Once you play the game enough and you've played most of the tanks, you end up knowing their reload times and whatnot. You can judge. You'll know just whether a tank can out reload you or not. Now again, I'm dark. After every time I fire, I pull back. Now my angle was too great there for him to pin me. Again, he fired. I know I'm going to reload quicker. Just putting rounds into him, and that's the end of him. Stick and move, stick and move. The KV-4 says, fucking gold fucker. Yeah. Last tank on the enemy team. You're in a KV-4. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot you with gold. That whole be very honorable thing does not apply when the game is on the line, buddy. And down goes the next one. So we in this match, 2,614 damage, 3 kills, another win. Guys, I hope you enjoyed my guide review of the Tier 8 Chinese medium tank, the T-34-2. In conclusion, really not my favorite tank. It's uncomfortable to play. Um, it doesn't have as many strengths you can really exploit versus other tanks. Um, so a lot of people will find this tank, I think, difficult to play. Definitely, in my opinion, not a keeper. I won't be keeping this once I grind through it. But again, like every single tank in the game, you can do well with it. Do well in it. Just know this tank's strengths. What you were seeing me doing in armor and whatnot. Use the strengths of this tank, and you can do well in it. And it won't be a horrible grind. But I won't be keeping it. And that's true for almost any tank in the game. I don't know if any tank in the game, as long as you use the strengths of the tank, you can't do well in it. And so I made this. Not my favorite tank, but showing people how to use it, and you can have great success in it. So please, if you like my videos, subscribe, share, spread the word. If you have any requests, let me know. I'll see you next time.